What's up, everybody? Trad West Podcast with another video. What are we talking about today? Today, we're going to be talking about the tolerant left. The tolerant left is at it again. Going to go over a couple things, but the biggest thing is all the Teslas that are being destroyed, Tesla dealerships being targeted, vandalized, arson. I'm just going to pull up one of the stories because I didn't realize this dude apparently was using like a Molotov or something on one of the dealerships. But there's numerous cases of this. This is the tolerant left who claims to be against violence. They're not the violent ones. It's the right wing people that are the nuts and the violent people. You see all over. There's stories of Tesla dealerships being vandalized, swastikas being drawn or spray painted on Teslas, some being caught on fire, Tesla charging stations being burned. There were Tesla dealerships getting shot up. So let's go into this story we have here. And we got this from, I guess this is a Colorado News website. So, Fort Collins resident was arrested after the Loveland Tesla dealership was vandalized on March 7th. Go over just a little bit of this because I didn't realize all this happened. But the arrest stems from a March 7th incident at the dealership. When an incendiary device was ignited and thrown at the building. Yeah, I didn't realize there was Molotovs being thrown at the building. The device landed between two vehicles and caught fire. Officers responded and extinguished the building, and several vehicles were damaged by rocks. So, Cooper Joe Frederick, 24 of Fort Collins, was arrested Thursday on suspicion of explosives or incendiary devices used during a felony, possession of explosives or incendiary devices, second-degree arson, criminal mischief, criminal attempt to commit a Class 5 or 6 felony. This was the fifth time in 5 weeks that a Tesla dealership was targeted, with previous incidents on January 29th, February 2nd, February 7th, February 24th. Past attacks have included offensive graffiti and Molotov cocktails. The February 24th vandalism resulted in the arrest of Lucy Nelson, 40, who faces federal charges. I think that might have been the woman. Yep, that actually was. That was Loveland. Yep. All right. So that's one of the things I want to talk about because it went from Trump derangement syndrome, which plenty still have, to Elon derangement syndrome. And I'm a little biased, but you really don't see this crazy stuff coming from the right. They like to act like it comes from the right. But as far as I can remember, the politicians that have been shot most recently have all been Republicans over the past few years. Or assaulted. Rand Paul assaulted. Scalia. Or Steve Scalise. Forget his name. One of that. Scalia or Scalise. One of them's the judge. One of them's the politician. He was shot. Trump was shot. Nearly assassinated. We got the InfoWars, which they're acting like that was just like maybe a carjacking or something, but there's an InfoWars reporter who was on the list of like enemies of Ukraine list. So my conspiracy mind was going. He was just shot and killed outside his home. All the swattings that have been going on, another InfoWars, and that was the next thing I was going to pull up here. So all the swattings that are going on. From Newsweek, MAGA influencers targeted by swatting calls. So, if you don't know what, before I go and read into this, if you don't know what swatting is, it's when these people call and do like a fake. They'll call the authorities and claim there's a hostage situation going on at this address. So like a whole like freaking SWAT team or whole police team shows up. Um, and it's not some harmless thing. Okay. Like rare circumstances, but it still has happened where police showed up thinking there was a hostage situation going on. The guy who lived there comes outside, not, you know, not knowing what's going on. There was no hostage situation. He's just coming out the front door of his house. Police panic because they were under the impression that there's a hostage situation going on. They shoot and kill the man. This is what these deranged leftists' goal is. They want to disrupt and have a situation occurring that could potentially lead to loss of life. Because when they show up thinking there's a hostage situation, they're already going to be, on high alert. And you don't know what's going to happen if you walk outside and they're thinking there's a hostage situation, let alone, depends what time of day. And I'm telling you, if somebody's like banging on my door or something at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm coming with a gun in my hand. So there's plenty of opportunity in these situations for terrible things to happen to innocent people. And this has been going on now. A lot of MAGA influencers, if you will, have been the victims of these swatting calls. Now, luckily, some of them are very used to it, and the local authorities already are aware. So they have, you know, a way to call, hey, we just got this call. Is everything okay? Is this going on? Da 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 da. But let's read a little bit of the story because I haven't read this yet. I just know these instances have been going on with prominent conservative MAGA type influencers. And make no mistake, the goal of the left is to hopefully have one of these people accidentally shot and killed. So, multiple conservative and MAGA figures have said that they have been victims of so called swatting incidents at their homes. Social media influencer Gunther Eagleman, radio show host Joe Pagliarulo and InfoWars Chase Geyser are among those who have said they were targeted in recent days. FBI Director Kash Patel, who was nominated to the role by President Donald Trump, said the agency is investigating the alleged incidents and warned against the dangerous trend in a Friday morning post on X, formerly Twitter. So that's good. The FBI really needs to get into this and prosecute these people to the full extent of the law. I'm sorry, like you are potentially like committing an attempted murder. Is basically what you're doing by doing these fake swatting calls on people. So this is the latest that the leftists are doing and what they're up to. Now, I'm not big enough for these people to really come and target me, but I'm a Second Amendment enthusiast and I got plenty around, so I would more than welcome these deranged leftists if they want to come try to find me to show up at my home because they can deal with my German Shepherds and or me. I know a lot of these prominent personalities online aren't exactly the most strongest. They might not even have guns. I know there was some weirdo who showed up at Nick Fuentes. I'm not a Nick Fuentes fan, but still, you shouldn't be showing up at someone's door. He used like pepper spray or something. Like, I don't know, man. Show up with a gun and maybe these idiots will change their mind. But this is what they're up to. I don't hear about this stuff coming from the right. But the media will constantly say right-wing extremism is dangerous and does it far worse. Let's see, Nick Sorter. He's a right-wing journalist. They didn't swat him. They actually swatted his dad and his sister. Someone called falsely claiming his father was planning to kill his entire family. So that's crazy. That's even more dangerous. They they call saying that the person who lives there is the danger and is threatening to kill the rest of the family. So then that is exactly what they're doing, attempted murder. If you call the police and say, "Hey, so and so lives here. He's got a hostage situation going on where he's going to kill his entire family." Police show up. This guy comes outside not knowing what the hell's going on. They were told he's the one trying to hurt people, and they take action. And it all was fake. Like, that's messed up. That is messed up. And then Sean Farash, comedian who calls himself Captain Deplorable on social media, said police were called to his house after receiving reports that a person was murdered at his home and that someone was planning to carry out suicide by cop. Okay, boom. That's attempted murder there. Those cops are going to be on edge. In case you don't know what suicide by cop is, it's when people who don't have it in them to kill themselves might provoke police officers with a weapon in their hand, what have you, to force the cops to then shoot and kill them. Um, so that they can then end their life. So that's an extra dangerous situation because that will inevitably lead to the police potentially being a little trigger happy and killing someone who's innocent. So, yep. Okay, here we go. Good. I don't know that this will happen, but Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah responded on X asking whether swatting should be prosecuted as attempted murder. I would say situations can be situational, if that makes sense. Not all situations are the same, but if this is what was being said by the individual making the prank call or fake call, that this person at this home was planning to carry out suicide by cop, that should be considered attempted murder. And same thing with this one about receiving a call saying the dude that lives there is planning to kill his whole family. Because that's potentially going to put the cops in a situation where they literally think you are armed and dangerous and you're up to no good. Now, let me say about this Gunther Eagleman. I believe I follow him on X, but he's kind of got these, you know, cringe boomer MAGA takes. Don't agree with everything he says. But now maybe he won't make fun of other people because I'm pretty sure, again, I'm not a Nick Fuentes fan, but I'm pretty sure when Nick Fuentes was running into these weirdos showing up at his house, he was laughing at Nick Fuentes saying, nah, fuck around and find out. Um, and now it happened to him and he's all offended. So, um, yeah, maybe it'll make some of the right wing people also wake up for making fun of other people because there is oh, they got Cat Turd too. Another MAGA boomer that I actually quit following because a lot of his stuff's cringe. He's very, the people that have Trump derangement syndrome are annoying, but also the MAGA cultists who think you must agree literally with everything Trump and the MAGA does, or you're some piece of shit who hates Donald Trump. Like, that's Cat Turd in a nutshell. Boomer who just makes money posting on X. So, anyways, we'll end the video here. It's just funny to see all these left wing personalities always blaming right wing people as the instigators and the people committing heinous acts when, in my experience, it's all the leftists, progressives, Antifa. They're the ones committing these acts. And I hope authorities really do crack down on this. And once people start getting some pretty serious charges, maybe they'll stop or at least think twice before doing this kind of stuff. Because people, I don't care how much you dislike the other side politically, let's take it down a notch. You shouldn't be wishing death upon people or doing things that could get other people killed. And some of these people are so deranged. There's a guy on my friends list that I was in the military with, and he is going unhinged off the rails. This Republican um, administration is full of Nazis, and if you can't see that, you're not my friend or family, da 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 da. Like, these people have been brainwashed and are losing it. So please, people, take a couple deep breaths, go outside, touch grass, be thankful for what you have going on in your life. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how much you despise the other side politically, it's not worth getting that worked up over. It's not that serious end of days like you're claiming it is. And you shouldn't be just completely writing off friends and family just because of who they voted for. Um, and, quit watching just the mainstream media. I think if somebody who's watching the mainstream media and has those points of views stops for maybe a month and maybe tries to watch a little alternative stuff on YouTube, Rumble, get a different, outlook on things, maybe they'll change their mind. But some people are just brainwashed and mindless NPCs, really. It's fascinating. They're just on to whatever the mainstream media is telling them. That Elon Musk is literal Nazi because he did his little gesture where he was throwing his heart out to people, but they took and run and still frame a picture and make it look like a Nazi salute or something. Like, yes, you think Elon would just publicly do a Nazi salute? Come on, people. Let's not be that gullible. So, anyways, make sure you like, follow, subscribe at Trad West Podcast on all platforms. Until next time, Trad West Podcast.